I think that's been the story of our season so far. A lot of different type of games. If I go back right to the Scarlets game at the beginning of the season, when Ben kicked that kick in injury time, and we've had a lot of very close games, and we as a group see that as a big positive, that good teams win close games, and we've managed to do that. In terms of our last few weeks, specifically, we knew that we came up against a very desperate Edinburgh side at home that were fighting for European qualification. We've had some big battles with them, and I thought we handled the conditions, and we handled them pretty well in terms of the physical battle that they presented. Last weekend we came up against Cardiff, who were kind of in the same boat in terms of European qualification. First time that they've played at the Arms Park for a very long time on a very different pitch, and we were down at one stage, and stayed in the fight, made a few changes on 50 minutes, and that immediately gave us some energy. Scored that try, and then the last 10 minutes was a big battle. We managed to fight our way out from being in front of the kicker when they hit the post there with a scrum 5 yards from our own goal line, and then worked our way up the field to scoring a fantastic maul try and converting it at the end. So, winning in a lot of different ways against a lot of very good teams in a very tightly contested pool, and We'll always take an ugly win instead of a brilliant performance and losing the game. Like I said, at the Treviso game, we beat them away, but we played a lot better against Leinster the previous week and still lost the game. So, to answer your question, very happy with where we are at in terms of our log position and at this stage of the season. Look, I'll always start with the person, because this game that we play is about people, and a phenomenal man. I've said that before. Incredible family man, husband and father, friend to a lot of people, and a real Munster man. I think respect is one of the words that pops up. Integrity, work rate, and then example, the example that he sets for others, and that's what this club's about. Billy has never been the guy that have played 50 Test matches, but he's the guy that turns up every single week for this club, and we've got to give him that respect. So he'll be sorely missed, but like Billy and I discussed, this is not about goodbyes. This is just an announcement. We've got still a big season ahead of us. A Pro 14, some games in a Champions Cup, and then hopefully a Rainbow Cup. So still a long way to go in this season for him, but incredible human being, Tom. Firstly, all credit to them. I think they've won their last 5 games, if I'm not mistaken, away from home. They've played some brilliant rugby. And I think the game that stands out for me from them this season is the away game against Racing Metro, where they came very close to beating them there in Paris. They've upped their physicality a lot. They've got very good structure, and they've got a very well and settled coaching team. Obviously, they're 9 points behind us. We had a pretty close game at the start of the year in Galway, and I'm sure this one will be the same. We are fighting to get into a final, and so are they. And we've got 3 rounds left, and whenever you play somebody in your pool, it's a big swing. If we win, obviously that progresses us to the next stage, and if they win, then there'll be a very small gap with 2 rounds to go. So a lot to play for both teams. And to be fair to Irish rugby, I think all 4 provinces had a brilliant season up to date, and from an Irish perspective, 2 brilliant interpros to look forward to on Friday and Saturday evening.
I still get the same buzz every time I put on the jersey. I still have the same sense of pride and honour that I did when I did it for the first time back in 2007. But look, it's the one thing that happens to every professional rugby player is you have to end at some stage, and I've always wanted to finish while I'm playing well. You know, I've seen guys in different clubs over the years maybe stay on a year too long, and I've too much respect for the jersey. I just wanted to go out while playing well. Does that mean that I feel I wouldn't be playing well in 12 months' time? Not necessarily, but you got to make a decision at some stage. You know, that and a big part as well, you know, I have a young family. You know, professional rugby has huge demands on both you physically and mentally and time-wise. And, you know, I'm 35. I, you know, want to spend as much time with my family as possible, and it's a big part of my life. And, you know, you can see it yourselves. There's great talent coming up through Munster. You know, big man called R.G. Snyman will be around a lot more next season. So there'd be less game time naturally. So I'm very happy with my decision. You know, come to me next October and I'd probably be, you know, regretting it and wishing I was out in the pitch. But when the lads are doing pre-season in August, whenever it'll be, I'd be very happy sitting at home. You know, that's why I kind of wanted to do this. You know, I told Munster, you know, a few weeks ago, I told the squad last week, I just want to do it, park it, and concentrate on the rest of the season. You know, the best thing I can do is just get this news out there, forget about it, drive on, and as I said yesterday, just play it to the best of my ability, whatever games I get. You know, the last 2 weeks, over the last couple of months, I've been like, well, this is my last time playing in Glasgow. This is my last time in Edinburgh, playing this in my head. Yes, I know there's a Rainbow Cup and I could end up back there. But so a lot of laughs, but, you know, ultimately all that matters week on week is going out, performing and getting a win. And that's where you get your pleasure from, winning those matches at the weekend. And it's a very narrow focus. What will I miss the most? It was great camaraderie with your teammates. You know, with COVID, it's been a lot more difficult to socialise and spend as much time as we normally do with each other. But what I'll miss most is running out in Thomond Park on a Saturday night, a European game on Saturday night. That is just the most incredible buzz, the adrenaline rush you get from that. That's impossible to replicate. I have some of my fondest memories, you know, playing for Munster and, you know, beating teams that you've no right to beat, and, you know, playing against guys who are world class, and you're beating them in Thomond Park on a Saturday night in Europe. That's a really special thing and something that I will certainly miss. What won't I miss? There really isn't much. Like, I don't see it as a job. You know, I've been playing rugby since I was 5 or 6. And to have been paid for this for the last however many 14 years or whatever it is I'm incredibly lucky to be able to do that. I'll get to spend more time with my family, which is a big positive, and something that means a lot to me. So, but there's nothing. No, I won't miss doing fitness tests in pre-season, but that's about the only thing. You know, so much of the job it's not a job really. It's a sport that I've always loved playing, and I'll miss. Absolutely, you know, there's been a few of us have had that focus over the last few years, knowing that we're not getting any younger. But for me personally, when you actually put it out there and say, I am finishing, I will not be playing for Munster in 6 months' time, you know, you are down to last chance saloon, and that does sharpen the focus. And look, all we can do is week on week continue to get better, continue to grow as a team, and I think we're going in the right direction. You know, whatever happens, you know, there's sometimes things are out of your control to a certain extent, but we're just focusing on ourselves as a team and getting better each week. I was watching highlights of the Munster All Blacks game back in 2008 there recently, and it's, you know, I kind of half expect like my old man or someone to pop up in it. It's absolutely mental, the rucks, and it's just carnage. There's guys flying everywhere, and I'd say there was probably about 10 red cards in that game if you look back on it by today's standards. How has it changed? It's a lot more structured. You know, there's you've less time on the ball, defences are better, but you know, it changes kind of year on year, really, doesn't it? That like the attack, the attack gets better and defence will start getting the upper hand. So, you know, back then there was, I feel it's almost kind of gone back that way a little bit. I think there was a middle section where it was all about size and bulk, and it's kind of gone back to guys needing to be fitter and faster to exploit space. But in terms of training and preparation, there is no comparison. The analysis we do, the analysis of our training, the work the coaches do, the work we do is it's light years from what we would have done 14 years ago. But everyone's doing it, so everyone kind of goes along at the same growth speed.